It's been a fairly busy day already. It's 19 minutes after 12 noon right now. I'm My wife just took a shower. I took a shower early this morning, and Linda just did. She's getting dressed. My brother Chris is going in to shower here in a minute, and we've got to take him over to Sulphur to get his prescription from him. Tomorrow he will be getting a new phone. He thought he was going to get it today. He's not. Let me plug my little phone in. I'm having issues today. I really am. Uh, I've got to. Well, let me back way up. Church yesterday was really, really, really excellent. It really was. Um, my best friend Jerry and my pastor Larry Fry, they're in Arkansas right now at a meeting to get one of the greatest men of God I've ever met. His name is Craig Stark. He runs a homeless mission and a Light of Grace missionary mission in Las Vegas, Nevada. The guy's wonderful. Tomorrow afternoon I will be going to see him when he comes to Springer. It's had me kind of on pin and needles. I need to back way up on that and explain why. Now, he did cut his hair, but Craig has hair down to here, and he is a man of God. He gets out amongst the unwashed masses in Las Vegas, and he spreads the word of God to them. And that is the truth of that matter. He'll go up, and it's like Brother Fry said, he'll go up and hug some drunk, tell him about the Word of God, tell him he's loved, and not think a thing of it. Craig's one of my favorite people in the world. Let me get a sip. So that's what they're doing, is voting on that so that he has a full-time salary. And it's like I told a couple of my friends at church, well, if they don't approve giving him a salary, we're all just going to have to step up to the plate and pay more. The man's doing too great a job not to be taken care of, so he can concentrate on doing the work of God rather than having to hustle money all the time. And they've got quite a setup, I'm just telling you. Well, that's what I've been concentrating on. I've actually done some fasting and praying for a good outcome, and I believe there will be. My son Chris just left. He was over here. He's got my van running great. We're going to have to take my brother Chris to Walmart to get his prescription. We'll be taking the pickup. My van's great if you're two adults and little kids sitting in the bench seat in the back. And I will take it out on the road later. I truly believe my youngest child, Christopher, is a mechanical genius. I believe that with everything I've got to believe it with. I've just seen him do too many things that shouldn't be able to be done, and he did it and got it done and got it working. Nick and Brandon, or Brandon and Nicholas, are at work at Turner Falls Park. Brandon's given his 2 weeks notice. He's a short timer there. And then tomorrow and Wednesday, Nick will be off work. I've just, it's been an intense 3 weeks. It really has. Been extremely busy. To Mom and John, I hope you're doing well. To my sister and JD, I hope y'all are doing well, your whole family. My sister Amy, I hope you're doing well. My brother Michael Paul, I hope you're doing well. And my brother Jason, I hope you're doing well. My brother Zachary, I hope you're doing well. I want everyone, friends and family alike, to be blessed. I really do. I pray for it a lot. The office isn't quite so dingy to me right now. The walls are painted and everything, but we're going to cut a hole through that wall, make a doorway, and then we've got to reposition and retrofit the room that's on the other side of that wall. I guess what I'll have to do is hang guitars on that wall over there. I don't know. We've got to insulate, put a new floor, put walls and a ceiling set up in that other room, and wire it, and make my brother Chris a little workshop area he can go in and do work in. He's wanting to do a little bit of jewelry work again. It's hard on a guy when you've been a force of nature your whole life and suddenly you're not. I know, because I'm the same way. To my friend Chris Kimball, Kimball, and my friend Monty Jones, thank you guys for the prayers from my friend Robert Arrington. He did a video, he and his older brother Gabriel did, where Rob was taking and trimming filleting a fish, and he got it done, but it's like Gabriel said, it's too soon for him to be doing all that stuff. I know Robert's impatient. He just had 2 strokes. And his speech shows it. He needs to go ahead and give his body time to rest up and heal up. He's got a real load on him. He's got business interest all over the place, and he's got a huge YouTube channel, but he does other things too. He's got a 2,500 acre ranch that they have to take care of, and rental properties and this and that, and employees. And he has to generate income to take care of all that. I understand that. And that brings me to another point that it might make me a little unpopular with some folks, but I'm going to make this point anyway. The easiest thing in the world to do is when you start making a little money, suddenly you go out and you start buying things immediately. You go into debt. And I see this everywhere. And I'm not going to name names. I'm just going to say I see it. Going into debt is a real bad idea, especially right now. A lot of younger people, don't see that the point of what I'm making, or the point I'm making. The average young person doesn't pay attention. They're making plans, and I want this, I should have this, I'll go get this, like buying a $1,000 cell phone you can't afford. I really now granted, and it's not an iPhone, but it's not a cheap phone either. I did get this, but the reason I got it is I have three income streams that I have to do production to have them function. In other words, business. And this old phone I got in my pocket is it's got something on it from somewhere. Let me get some. It is a business phone. There's a little ant, and I just squished its little guts out. Let me get a pair of tweezers and get it off my. It must have fallen onto me from outside. Let me put this phone out of the way. Anyway, if you're doing business, sometimes you have to go into debt to do business, unless you happen to have large sums of money just laying around. And I'm no exception to that, but I have no debts, no business debts. When I bought that, I paid cash for it. I do with or do without. My family does with or does without. The only thing I owe on right now is I've got a building I'm paying on, and I made a payment for it. It's out there. Made a payment for it this morning. I'm always early when I pay bills, not late. At least when I say bills, I try to keep everything going smoothly. It's not always that easy. We're not rich. I can promise you we're not rich, but we have a lot. And it's like my best friend Jerry Pletcher says. His dad used to say this. I would ride around in an old John Deere Gator with E.W. Pletcher, and he said, well, I'm rich now, I just wish I had some money. What has happened with Jerry and Diane and with a lot of other friends I have that have a lot of money? They don't really have a lot of money. They have a lot of business, and it starts growing, and it starts growing, and it starts growing. And when you do that, you've got to service your debts, because he borrows money to expand his business. And you have to be able to service your debts, keep your payments low. And that is how business is done by and large. Always put a little aside for yourself, but still you have to pay the piper. And it's the same way with what I do. If my business streams, all three of them that I utilize, shut down right now, it would not adversely affect my family. We wouldn't go bankrupt or wring our hands. Oh no, that wouldn't happen. But I like having extra money. And I've got a couple of guys that need to send payments to me. We'll be dealing with them later this morning. Or later today, maybe tomorrow morning. The long and short of all that is this. Don't go in debt. If you're in business, you might have to go into debt to keep your business running, but don't get to the point that with your business you're living off of borrowed money. I have friends and I have family that do not understand that. Won't go into detail on that, but um, you don't need $1,000 telephone if you're on food stamps or whatever they call it these days. You don't need a you don't need the shiniest, fastest car or the shiniest pickup or the shiniest anything. If you now, not everyone can go out and pay cash for a vehicle. I understand that. I'm thankful that we can. And it really helps that I've got an ace mechanic for a son. I understand sometimes you have to borrow money to have a vehicle. Um, but when you're in business, you have to service your debt first, and what's left over is what you can live off of. I've seen so many restaurants fail because they did not understand that principle. A friend I mentioned on here, Monty Jones, one of the best cooks I've ever met in my life. Paying you a compliment, knothead. But Monty and his wife, they had Monty's Diner in Lone Grove. If he was still open, I would be driving an hour just to go over there and eat with him. Probably every day. But they set a table and they understood what it takes to do that. They're very shrewd people. Um, I've I've got a restaurant I'm banned from. Their food's okay. It's so-so. Um, they've got one opening up in uh, Ada, and look, there's another one I'm banned eternally from. But the problem was they had music going so loud. The one I didn't have a problem at their other restaurant, just the one in Davis. And I always sit with my back away from the door. I don't like someone walking in that could pop around into me and be surprised. It sounds like a gunfighter motto, but if you've been through the crap I've been through, you would understand the necessity for it. But in that particular restaurant, they had speakers positioned over all the places I like to sit, and they'd keep that music just blaring. And I'd ask them to turn it down. They'd turn it down. Then one day they said, well, we're told by management we can't turn it down anymore. And then one day I left and invited never to come back again, and that's fine. They don't need my money, and they don't need Monty's money. There's a survey coming out. Monty Jones got in a disagreement with the owner over God. The owner made the statement, anybody that believes in an invisible God is an idiot or something like that. Monty corrected him and said, well, I guess you don't need my money anymore. They don't need mine either. Excuse me. I seem to be rambling a little bit. I apologize for that. I have plenty to do this afternoon. Like I really do have a lot to do. I've got to tend to personal things with Linda and with my brother Christopher come home. I've got to concentrate on trying to help some folks that need it. And I've got a few little doodads I've got to take care of. I've later this evening I'll be getting a hold of Jerry or Brother Fry and find out how it went. I'm really concerned about it. I shouldn't. They're capable men, you know, very capable. Ow. There are so many things I want to do that I've not had time yet to do. And there are things I need to do that I haven't had time to do. And just a bunch of stuff taking time up. It's what happens. I hope your day is going well. I really do. Mine's going great. Yesterday I took the whole day off, didn't do anything except I went to church, came home, and went and got Nick from work, and then Brandon brought the Suburban home after that. I've got to this weekend or early next week, I've got to shift my insurance over to my van from the outfit we've got the other vehicles insured with. I'll have to sit down with my agent and talk to him about it. The insurance on the van's a little different, and I'll probably have to get it so that it's solely insured by itself. I don't know. It's a production truck, and I've got to do a breakout on the equipment and do a run through with it again, and get everything set up. I'm going to have to take and run I've got to find my other laptops. I've got a few. I don't know what I did with them. I've got an iPad in the parlor. I need to do something with it. Basically, summer is soon to be upon us, and with it comes the heat. Thankfully, my son got the van to where it doesn't bog down when you turn the heater on. He had to change the thermostat out. It had the wrong one in it, evidently, and it was making the truck overheat and bog down and have problems. And the last time I drove it on a trip, it just bogged down to the point suddenly it was no longer running. It died. It snapped a key pin on the distributor, and he fixed that. But he got it running. It's got a little bit of tweaking left to do on it, but it runs fine. And I ran it down the road a while ago. It felt good driving the thing again, but to go places I want to go in it, I'm going to have to break out the equipment, check out what I got, want to go do some night vision shots, and I want to take my little brother Chris with me so that he understands what it is I'm going to be doing, and I want him to be a part of it, and he wants to be a part of it. Well, folks, I have to get off of here. I've absolutely got to go deal with some stuff. I've got things I need to do, traveling we need to do. And I'll get back out here in the office later this evening. I've got to get my daughter-in-law to sit with me and figure a thing out. Um, uh, where my son and grandsons and daughter-in-law are staying right now, they're going to be moving out of fairly soon. But in the meantime, the internet was turned off. It was part of the package, and so they're using a hotspot I had, and I've got to upgrade it. And that's just how things go. Busy, busy, busy. Now, before I get off of here, one more little spiel I'm going to give you. Know that this crippled, ugly old man, well, this old man, this crazy old man loves you. I do, with everything I've got to love you with. I want you to be thankful for your blessings. So many people today, and scripturally it talks about people turning from God in the last days. And that's happening. I read an article where over 50% of the American population does not believe there is a God. Well, there is. He's still in charge. He still loves you, and blessings flow from on high to us. It does happen. So be thankful for him. If you're not dead, if you're able to watch this, you are blessed. Just know that and be thankful for it. And, like the sign up there says above my left shoulder, always be kind. If we can all concentrate on being kind and really be kind to others, the world will end up being such a better place. Love all of you. God bless you, and bye.